Hi, I'm Kelly with Blue Water Photo, and today let's take a look at the Recsea housing for the Olympus OMD EM-1 mirrorless camera. The EM-1 from Olympus is the latest top-of-the-line mirrorless camera that they have released. It improves upon the previous EM-5 that was a very popular camera by improving some of the features, including faster focusing using both phase and contrast focusing. It has an improved processor on the same 16 megapixel sensor, so you get really excellent image quality as well as really great video quality. It's got an improved flash sync speed of 1/320th. That extra stop allows you to get better sun detail when you're shooting sunball shots and gives you just a greater range in general when shooting underwater with a strobe. Overall, the camera is a really high-end, great mirrorless option if you want a smaller underwater camera, not wanting to step up to a DSLR, want to move up from a compact. It's a really excellent option. Controls on the camera are great. It's got a twin dial control for shutter and aperture, just like you would see on many DSLRs. The grip on the camera is really nice. Overall, it's an excellent choice for underwater photography. Pair that camera with the Recsea housing, and you have a very solid housing choice. The Recsea housing is fully machined aluminum, really high quality. The engineering on it is very nice. They've put a lot of thought into this housing. It is the smallest housing for all of the EM-1 cameras that are available. Let's take a look at some of the features so you can see everything that's available with this housing. As you can see, it fits really nicely in my hand, so if you're using it with a tray with one handle, or even if you have two handles, Recsea has designed this housing to work really nicely by holding it. So a lot of people will move an outside handle so that you can just hold right onto the housing. It's got a very nice thumb guard, which helps you maintain a good grip on the housing. And it's got a shutter that pushes in instead of down. It's a very sensitive shutter, makes it very easy to get your half focus press so that you can focus and then take a photo without just accidentally taking extra photos. Recsea uses a bayonet style port system, and they have created ports with this housing that work with all of the popular Olympus and Panasonic mirrorless lenses that people use underwater, like the 8mm fisheye, the 9-18, the Olympus 60mm macro lens, as well as some others. There is an option if you're using the 12-50 lens here that allows you to engage the macro mode, so you have full functionality of that lens. They've got a port and lens release button so that you can change lenses from the front of the housing, so it helps you not have to open the back of the housing and deal with that O-ring getting exposed when you want to switch out a port and a lens, which is really nice. If we flip around to the back, you can see all of their buttons are very simple. One small downside is that they don't individually label buttons, but they do provide a very nice key right on the side so you have a quick reference guide. Large LCD. They've got the viewfinder window so that you can look through either the viewfinder or the LCD, however you choose to shoot. You've got controls for your two twin dials here and here. On the front, we've got our mode dial. You've got the ability to put the flash up and down, which is something most of the housings don't do. It's kind of nice if you want to do a quick shot with no flash. Instead of futzing with camera settings, you just put the flash down and it turns it off inside the camera and you're good to go. You don't have to mess with your strobes or anything. Buttons are pretty much as they are on the camera. They don't move things around very well. So if you are holding with a handle, some buttons like the AEL button can be more difficult to reach at the same time as the shutter. So for some people who like to split out their back focus, this might not be the best option. You might want to look at one of the other buttons on the camera. The nice thing with the EM-1 is that it's very customizable, so there are a lot of options to choose to make it set exactly how you want. Let's take a look inside the housing. They've got two very secure latches on either side to keep the housing closed and locked. In order to open it, you simply push in the middle button while pulling out the outsides. So it's kind of a counterintuitive movement, which means you're not going to do it accidentally. From there, it just lifts off. You can see the back, very clean inside. Buttons are straightforward, not too much going on. The simple, clean engineering really makes this housing work well and makes it easy to use. In the front here, the camera tray is built in, so what you do is slide your camera in and then screw it in. You don't have to remove the tray. Nice feature because you're never going to accidentally leave the tray outside of the housing and forget it when you go to dive, which could ruin a dive. Good white O-ring, easy to see, make sure it's clean. Again, simple, easy inside. To close the housing, all you simply do is make sure everything is lined up properly. You want to make sure your on and off button is lined up properly. You want to make sure the flash is lined up properly. That way when you're putting the bottom in, it works with all the correct buttons and everything is functional. Once that's set on your camera, you just slide this over, make sure it's lined up in place, and close the two latches. They click very nicely. They're good and secure. They're not going to go anywhere. And then you're set to go. Overall, we think this is an excellent option for the Olympus EM-1 housing, especially if you want something that's smaller and just straightforward for a good underwater camera housing. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or visit us at bluewaterphotostore.com. Thanks so much for watching.